radio teacher for the catch-up lessons. And today, Mathematical Literacy Term 1, of course. And we are joined by Ms. Mbia to take care of that particular lesson.
Before she starts, do remember that this lesson is proudly brought to you by Kagiso Trust in partnership with the Limpopo Department of Education and Capricorn FM. Kagiso Trust, overcoming poverty. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Good day, Maths Lit learners. Today's focus is on data handling. Data handling. Data is any information that can be collected and recorded to ease statistical investigation. Methods of collecting data include interviewing, which is asking questions, observation, and researching the internet and newspapers. There are some steps that should be followed when you prepare your data. First, you must be able to develop research questions, be able to collect data, classify and organize the data, summarize your data, represent data, and be able to analyze your data. There are various methods which are used to collect the data. Let us check on the classification of collected data. We've got two different ways in which data can be classified. Two different ways. One, qualitative data or categorical. Qualitative data or categorical. That is the data that relates to certain categories. Data relating to certain categories. For example, male and female or the type of car. That is categorical. Two, we've got numerical or quantitative. Numerical or quantitative. That is the data that can be measured and can be discrete or continuous. It can be measured, the numerical one, and can be discrete and or continuous. Discrete data represent fixed numbers. Discrete data represents fixed numbers. Example, numbers of people, size of shoes, millimeters of rainfall, etc. Under numerical, again, I've got continuous data, which represents range between any two numbers. The range between any two numbers. Example, the length, time, and temperature. That is the continuous data. Learners are actually given questions like interpretation of a sentence or the data collected, whereby you need to classify the collected data. An example, marks obtained in a maths literacy test. That is the sentence given. Marks obtained in a maths literacy test. Learners are supposed to state whether the data is qualitative or quantitative. If they say the data is quantitative, then they must also state whether it is discrete or continuous. You state whether the data is qualitative or quantitative. If you say the data is quantitative, then you must also state whether it is discrete or continuous. The sentence is, marks obtained in a maths literacy test. It is quantitative and continuous. Quantitative and continuous. The other example, the colors of T-shirts. Colors of T-shirts. Colors of T-shirts, that is qualitative. It is qualitative. Types of cars. Types of cars is categorical. It is also qualitative because it was talking of a specific car. So overall, when you classify your data, make it a point that you can differentiate between the categorical data, numerical data, and under numerical data, we've got the discrete and the continuous data. How to sort collected data. How to sort collected data. The most common way to organize data is by using a frequency table. This is a table that records how often every value in the data set occurs. The frequency table. The frequency table is the most common way to organize our data. And in the frequency table, we use tallies and the frequency. Meaning, when you are to record data, you write whatever the information which is the item using a block. From there, you write tallies, where you are going to indicate your tallies, and the frequency referring to the number. I've got an example here. Here is Jabu, who investigated the colors of cars parked at a shopping center. He walked up and down the rows of parked cars using symbols for the different colors as follows: R for red, G for green, W for white, B for blue, and S for silver. Jabu is moving up and down in rows of parked cars using red, green, white, B, and S, representing the first letter of every color. So the results were as follows: red, red, green, green, silver, white, white, blue, white, red, blue, 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 red, blue, blue, white, white, silver, red, blue, green, 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 blue, blue, green, red, silver, and silver. Total number of cars here is 30. The survey was on 30 cars. Now let us draw the frequency table. When you draw the frequency table, in this case, the first one, the table, will indicate the color of the car. Color of car. The second row, tally. The third row, the frequency. I've got the first color, red. How many red cars were counted there? We should note that when you would like to take the correct number, we use strokes. When it comes to the tallies we use strokes, smaller lines, and when you count, when you've got 5 of whatever you're looking for, it means you'll have 4 strokes, and the 5th one will bind the 4, meaning that is 5. It's easier for one to count when you bind with the 5th one. In this case, the red cards, we had 6. So the strokes 1, 2, 3, 4, you bind with the 5th one. You're still going to count the vertical one. I said it's easier when you bind the 5th one with another stroke, the 5th one. So, because we've got 6, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. The 5th one you bind, from there another one. The frequency is 6. Green. 1, 2, 3, 4. The 5th one you bind, and another stroke. Frequency 6. Frequency is the number. White. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Don't forget to write the 4 strokes, and the 5th one you cross. Blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. The frequency is 9. Silver. 1, 2, 3, 4. Which is equals to 4. At the end on your table, you should go to the frequency table and indicate the frequency. The frequency is the number at the end. When you add the numbers there, you'll get 30. Total should be 30. When we check on the frequency table, the frequency table we can also use to arrange data in a way we can easily interpret it. That is a grouping. We use the grouping. The grouping, this is whereby we can also refer to the class interval. There is, when dealing with the data in which there is a large variation in the values, it is often useful to divide the data into smaller numbers of categories. That is the class interval. I've indicated that earlier on, that is grouping. These class intervals, they reduce the number of data values that we have to deal with to make it easier to graph the data. That is class intervals. Group intervals. An example of group intervals here. I've got a class of 46 grade 12 learners who scored as follows in their mathematical literacy test. The marks are expressed as percentages. They are 46. Hence, we are going to use the class interval. It's going to be easier because you are grouping them. You are not going to write a longer frequency table. I've got the percentages here. 70, 54. Hope you are writing this down. 63, 52. 48, 61. 39, 62, 66, 90, 78, 50, 68, 35, 88, 39, 91, 51, 67, 73, 47, 34, 44, 65, 45, 34, 68, 56, 66, 57, 64, 43, 73, 38, 77, 77, 2 77s, 45, 50, 67, 48, 38, 75, 56, 54, 67, and 86. Now we are supposed to arrange the data in a frequency table using class intervals of 10 and starting at 30 to 39. We're going to include the tallies in the frequency table. The class interval is as follows: 30 to 39, 40 to 49, 50 to 59, 60 to 69, 70 to 79, 80 to 89, 90 to 99. Because we don't have the 100, we don't have to write it. Then from there, you're going to take the numbers that I gave you. You write the tallies. The first one, we've got 7, meaning it's 5 strokes, and another 2. The frequency is 7. 40 to 49. That is the first one is the category of 30 to 39. 30 to 39, we've got 7. The frequency is 7. 40 to 49, frequency is 7. 50 to 59, frequency is 9. 60 to 69, frequency is 12. 70 to 79, frequency is 7. 80 to 89, we've got 2. 90 to 99, 2 again. Remember, you don't have to write the frequency before you write your tallies. If I say 60 to 69, it is 12. It means on the tally column, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The vertical stroke. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. It's easier for you to count. Very easy. So at the end, you must make sure that you've got the total of 46. When you've got the total of 46, it means that is correct. The grouping was correct. So we use the class interval, this class interval on a larger group. The other one is summarizing the data. Summarizing the data, this is whereby we use the measures of central tendency and spread. Once data has been collected, it is of little value unless it is summarized into a form which will provide you with useful information. So we're going to use the central tendency and spread in order to summarize the data given. The measure of central tendency refers to different types of averages. Averages of the data set, namely the mean, median, mode, range. They can all be used as descriptions of the data that we are investigating. However, they are often reasons why one may be a better option than the other in a particular situation. One should be able to define the measures of central tendency. Actually, you should be able to know the definition of all these averages because it's going to be easier for you to do some calculations. For instance, if we say the mean average, the mean, that is the average of the data set. The sum of the scores divided by the number of values in a set. The sum of the values divided by the number of values in a set. Meaning, when you are to calculate the mean average, you need to write in a form of a fraction, because this is sum of all values in a data set divided by number of values in a data set. I've got an example here. John tested water pollution in 5 rivers and found the following pollution percentages: 32%, 60%, 77%, 48%, 57%. Remember, the test was from 5 rivers. So we are requested to calculate the mean average. Remember, I said the mean average is sum of all values in data set divided by number of data set. Each time when you are given the values, it is best to arrange in ascending order. Let us arrange let's do the ascending order of these values. We've got 32, 48, 57, 60, and 77. And therefore, because we're looking for the sum of all values in a data set, divide by the number of values. It means that these 5 numbers should be added. It is 32, I want to add with you, 32 plus 48 plus 57 plus 60 plus 77. Divide by the number of values. How many numbers do we have there? We've got 5 numbers. Therefore, we're going to take the numbers that you have added, you divide by 5. When you divide by 5, then you will get your answer. And when you get your answer, if it's in a form of a decimal, please write it as it is. Do not round off the decimal unless taught to do so.
All right, thank you, ma'am. We will be continuing with that lesson after we go into news headlines and sports. Nhlamulo is here for news headlines and Vusani is here with your full sports. Do remember that if you have any questions for ma'am, you can send them through to 0826542446 with the hashtag Kagiso Radio Teachers.
Have you heard that all Laduma hardware stores are now open? We offer quality building materials at unbeatable prices. At Laduma Hardware, our customers come first. As a responsible business, the following COVID-19 prevention precautions have been applied. Hand washing, sanitizing, temperature screening, and social distancing is practiced. We also disinfect our stores frequently. Please remember to wear your face mask when you visit our stores. Together, we will win this coronavirus war. Laduma, where you save and score.
News headlines on Capricorn FM.
In news-making headlines, President Cyril Ramaphosa is this evening expected to address the nation to give an update on the provisions for the religious sector during the lockdown. Limpopo Health MEC Dr. Phophi Ramathuba says healthcare professionals who have underlying conditions and those who are over 55 years old will not form part of frontline workers who will be fighting COVID-19. And Health Minister Dr. Zweli Mkhize says government will be advocating for vigilance and focus on the prevention of new COVID-19 infections under Alert Level 3 lockdown. Your final bulletin at 6 p.m.
Capricorn FM Sports, on and off the field. We've got you covered.
Wrapping up your sports for today, Proteas opening batsman Dean Elgar has said that there is room for hard chats in the South African dressing room after the worst season since readmission almost 3 decades ago. The Proteas won only 3 of their 8 completed games at the 2019 Cricket World Cup in England, crashing out of contention for a place in the semi-finals with 2 league matches still to be played. They followed that up with a dispiriting tour of India in October, in which they were hammered 3-0 and twice lost by an innings. Another test series defeat, this time a 3-1 hammering at the hands of England at home, was a miserable finale as they wrapped up a Honduras summer. To be fair, the Proteas were rocked by the retirement of key players, injuries, and a handful of players making their debuts. Elgar believes straight talk does not break a relationship, but says caution has to be exercised in dealing with different characters within the dressing room.
I think you got to know your personnel or your teammates that you can have hard chats with. I mean, sometimes you just got to sit around the same table and you got to express what you're feeling. And sometimes people don't like hearing the blunt truth. And I think that's something that maybe lacks around the world at the moment. It's always difficult to have hard chats, but like I mentioned, that's something that you need to trust. You need to trust where it's coming from. You need to have trust in the player who's giving you the hard chats, or the coach.
Meanwhile, Cape Town City Chairman John Cometis says the club are yet to make a decision over whether or not to cut player salaries. All sporting activities have been suspended for 2 months, with Premier Soccer League clubs also feeling the pinch. The citizens previously discussed the plan to cut staff and players' wages to defer costs, but Cometis says the club will only make a decision in conjunction with the Premier Soccer League. Now, with football suspended and with the question of whether the league should be scrapped or continued, Cometis is in favor of completing the 2019-2020 PSL season. And lastly, following a charity golf match over the weekend, which raised over $20 million for the coronavirus relief effort, Tiger Woods says he takes his hat off to everyone who came together and donated the funds. The match was between Tiger Woods, Peyton Manning, Phil Mickelson, and Tom Brady at the Medalist Golf Club in Florida, which attracted an average of 5.8 million viewers. The record audience, which at some point peaked at 6.3 million, tuned in to watch Woods and Manning emerge victorious after a rain-soaked match which raised $20 million for the corona relief effort. Meanwhile, Woods says he's taking that advantage of the lockdown break to develop a routine that will see him fit enough when all sports is given the green light.
It's been nice to be at home and be able to train each and every day and get some treatment on it. Get into a routine, basically. I didn't have to play for a while. I was trying to peak for Augusta and trying to get ready for that. And, obviously with this pandemic and anything has happened, we've all been, very careful, and I've had to, stay at home, and it's been good in that regard. And I've been able to spend a lot of time with my kids, which has been awesome.
And that concludes all I had for you for today, but I'm back with more of your sports on the Go Breakfast tomorrow morning. For more updates, do follow us at Capricorn FM News on Twitter, and for Capricorn FM Sport, Ndivusani Moyo.
Keeping you up to date with the latest sports news. Capricorn FM Sports.
All right, it's 25 minutes heading to 6. Capricorn FM, Limpopo's hottest frequency. Thank you so much to the news and sports team. We do continue right now with our hashtag Kagiso Radio Teacher Catch-Up Lesson. Mathematical literacy today, data collection. Right.
This lesson is proudly brought to you by Kagiso Trust in partnership with the Limpopo Department of Education and Capricorn FM. Kagiso Trust, overcoming poverty. Over to you, ma'am. You may continue.
Thank you. Let me just do the recap of calculation of the mean. I said is the sum of values in a data set divided by number of values. We have added all the values given. We have divided by 5, and our answer was 54.8%. The percentage is indicated because the data given was in percentages. Now, I would like us to work backwards to find the missing value in a data if the mean is given. Let us say the mean is being given. I've got the following data: 10, 5, 2, 8, and X. and it has an average of 6, meaning the mean is 6. So we are requested to find the x. 10 plus 5 plus 2 plus 8 plus x. My preference is that you should always make sure that you arrange in ascending order. It means it will be 2 plus 5 plus 8 plus 10 plus x. X is unknown. It's our blank box. How many numbers do we have? Remember, we've got an x representing a number. Therefore, it means sum of scores, you add all the values in the data given, you divide by 5. And it is equals to 6. The mean is given. The mean is equals to 6. To get rid of the fraction, we multiply both sides by 5. Meaning 2 plus 5 plus 8 plus 10 plus x is equals to 6 times 5. So when you add the values there, because you want to get rid of the fraction, we've got 25. So it's 25 plus x, which is equals to 30. Where did I get the 30? The 6 times 5. Therefore, let us look for x. Let x be the subject of the formula. X will therefore be equals to 30. You move the 30 to the other side. 30 minus, it won't add because it's getting to the other side. It's 30 minus 25. So the missing number is equals to 30 minus 25 is equals to 25. This is how we calculate to find the missing value if the mean is given. If the mean is given, as long as you are to calculate the sum of the values, you must add the sum of the values plus the x. You divide by the number of values, which is equals to your mean. From there, to get rid of the fraction, you multiply both sides by 5. Then our answer is 5. Other than the mean, we've got the median. The median is the middle value of an ordered data set if there is an odd number of values. If there is an even number of values in a set, the median is the mean of the two middle values. Median is another name for middle. You are to arrange a data set in a row of magnitude in ascending order. The ascending order, very, very important. Ascending from small to big. Values in the middle of the ordered row will be the intermediate in size and should give a good idea of the general size of the data. The median can be used as an indication of central tendency. Let us quickly check on this example on how to calculate the median. This is Susan, who receives the following mathematical literacy scores: 66%, 62%, 21%, 69%, 61%. To find the median, you need to arrange the numbers in order, in ascending order, so that you have an ordered data set, which is ascending order: 21, 61, 62, 66, and 69. I've got 5 numbers here. Remember, I said earlier on when explaining the median, if data is odd, it's easier for you to locate the middle number. It's easier for you to take out the median. In this case, because we've got 5 numbers, the 62 is the median. For us to find the middle number, 21, 61, 62, 65, and 60, and 69. 21, 61, 62, 66, and 69. So the middle number is 62%. That is our median. That is our median. There is the difference when the data is odd or even. Now here is Susan, another example with the even data. If Susan obtained 65% for an additional test, you will still calculate the mean in the same way, but the median is now the mean of the 2 middle numbers. Don't forget to arrange in ascending order. Data given: 21, 61, 62, 65, 66, and 69. How many numbers do we have here? We've got 6 numbers. And out of the 6 numbers, I said the middle ones, this is where you are going to calculate the mean average in order to get the median. The median is lying between the 2 numbers. It's actually not there. So we are going to take 3 numbers, the first 3 numbers, the last 3 numbers. So it means the median is lying between 62 and 65. Therefore, you are going to take the 62, you add with 65. You divide by 2. That is why I said you are going to calculate the mean average of the middle numbers. 62 plus 65 divided by 2. The answer is 63.5%. 63.5%. You do not have to round off your decimals unless taught to do so. Very, very important. So with the median, you should understand that when you are given data which is odd, you single out a number in the middle because the median represents the middle number. When data is even, the even where you can divide in without getting the remainder, the median is lying between 2 numbers in the middle. Therefore, you are going to add the 2 values given, you divide by 2 because the numbers given there are 2. The mode. Mode is the value or values in a data set that occurs the most. The number that appears the most. The mode is often used as an indication of central tendency when a very high or very low values in a data set skew the mean. I've got the data here. The number of words a group of learners can send in an SMS in 1 minute. I've got 10, 13, 25, 27, 29, 31, 31, 33, and 35. Hence, we have indicated that the mode is the number that appears the most. So the number that appears the most here is 31. So if it's 31, it means 31 is the mode. The range. Range is the difference between the highest and the lowest values in a data. The difference, when you're looking for the difference, it means you're going to subtract between the highest and the lowest in a data set. It is an indication of the spread of data. It cannot be used with grouped data. The range cannot be used with grouped data. I want to take that example that I've cited earlier on. The number of words a group of learners can send in an SMS in a minute. 10, 13, 25, 27, 29, 31, 31, 33, 33, and 33. Remember, the range is the difference between the highest and the lowest values. So for you to calculate the range, you take the highest, which is 33, and you subtract the lowest, which is 10. The difference is 23. That is indicating the mode. Other than that, we use quartiles and percentiles. Quartiles and percentiles. One might ask and say, what are the quartiles? Quartiles are values that are divided, that divide a data set into 4 groups containing, as far as possible, equal numbers of observation. A data set has 3 quartiles. We've got the lower quartile, which is referred to the Q1, the middle or the median quartile, which is Q2, and the upper quartile, which is Q3. How to find the quartiles in a given data? We are to find the quartiles. We are given the data. Before you get the quartiles, make sure that your data is arranged in ascending order. I've got numbers here. 21, 22, another 22, 23, 25, 26, 27, 29, another 29, 31, and 33. How many numbers do I have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 numbers. The data is odd. And you are to identify the Q1, Q2, Q3, which is the lower quartile, the middle quartile, and the upper quartile. Make it a point that your data is arranged in ascending order. The numbers, I'm going to repeat, 21, 22, 22, 23, 25, 26, 27, 29, 29, 31, and 30, 31, and 33. Now, let us take out the quartiles. You must first start with the median. Why the median? Because it is the middle quartile. It is the Q2. The median is dividing your data into 2 equal parts. In this case, our Q2 is 26. Once you take out the 26, you are left with the lower part of your data. The lower part of your data, you've got 5 numbers. And because we're talking of quartiles here, the 22, that's not the second, the third 22 will represent your Q1. And the upper part we've got 5 numbers as well. The middle number is 29, which is your Q3. It means in the given data, your Q1 is the third 22, your Q2 is 26, and your Q3 is 29. Sometimes you find out that you are given even data. If data is even, don't forget that the quartiles are also lying in between the two numbers. You are actually supposed to add the two numbers that you get and you divide by 2. Let us say we are given 12 numbers. The 12 numbers, 21, 22, 22, 23, 25, 26, 27, 29, 29, 31, 33, and 34. I said the first step that you need to do is to identify the Q2. The Q2, in this case, we've got 12 numbers. It means you're going to divide your data into 2 equal parts, 6 numbers and 6 numbers. So it means your Q2 is lying between 26 and 27. It's not there. It is lying between the two numbers. And therefore, you are to take 26 plus 27, you divide by 2. You go to your first set. How many numbers do you have for the lower part? The lower part, you've got 6 numbers. So, in this case, the Q1 is going to be between 22 and 23. And then what about the Q3? The Q3 is going to be between 29 and 31. So it's 29 plus 31 divided by 2, then you'll get your Q3. Other than that, in quartiles, you are requested to calculate the interquartile range. Range, remember, is the difference between the highest and the lowest. In this case of the interquartile range, which is referred to IQR, interquartile range, you must take the Q3 minus the Q1. Q3 minus Q1. When you take the Q3 minus Q1, it will depend on your data given. Let us take that first data, the 11 numbers. Our Q1, 22, Q3, 29. And you are requested to calculate the IQR, interquartile range. The interquartile range in this case is Q3, you substitute by 29, minus Q1, you substitute by 22, which is equals to 7. It means your IQR is 7. Let's get to percentiles. Percentiles. Quartiles, you divide your data into 4 groups. Percentiles, you divide your data into hundredths. The percentiles are simply called the first percentile, second, and so on. We've got the quartiles. Remember, the quartiles are the quarters because you divide your data into 4. Therefore, let us check on the first quartile. Are you aware that the first quartile is actually representing 25% of the data? And therefore, the Q1, the first quartile, is the 25th percentile. 25th percentile of the data. What about the Q2? The Q2 is the 50th percentile of the data. And the 75th percentile is Q3. as long as your values given are in ascending order, it's easier for you to take them out. So sometimes with the percentiles, you might be requested to calculate, to find, or maybe you're given the data. Say you are given 20 numbers. Let me just quickly give you this. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. How many numbers are there? 20 numbers. Now, you are requested to calculate the 10th percentile. 10th percentile. The 10th percentile. The percentile represents the percentages. For you to get the answer, make sure that your numbers are in ascending order. Yes, ours are in ascending order. And because you are looking for the 10th percentile, you do this on a calculator. 10 over 100 times 20. Because this is the 10th percentile. 10 over 100 times 20, 20, that is the number of your data given, which is equals to 2. If it is equals to 2, it means the second number on the given data is your 10th percentile. In this case, the number is 15. We've started with 14. It's 14, 15, 16, 17, and so on. So it means our 10th percentile on the given data is the second number. So the second number is 15. The 10th percentile is 15. What about the 40th percentile? 40th percentile, you still do likewise. Percentiles represent the percentages. So it means it's 40 over 100 times 20. The answer is 8. In this case, because the answer is 8, it means the 8th number on the given data is your 40th percentile. We will be doing more of this next time, and I will be teaching you on how to draw and interpret the box on whiskers, interpret some of the graphs, the S-type graph, and so on. Overall, what I can say to you is that when you are to calculate some of these things, mainly the data handling, make sure that everything is arranged in ascending order for you to determine all the different averages. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We look forward to having you again on the show. It's a minute before 6 and we are saying our goodbyes, but do remember that this lesson was brought to you by Kagiso Trust in partnership with the Limpopo Department of Education and Capricorn FM. Kagiso Trust, overcoming poverty.
We are making way right now for